If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. If you face any troubles when applying or feel the need to get in touch with us directly, email us, call us, tweet at me directly at Sunanda_J or join our Facebook group.
Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18 Hours special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. This is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and this show aims to bring you the most relevant and updated information on everything related to your businesses. Tonight, we're taking in all of your queries with our panel of experts, and to answer your queries in studio with me, I have Srirang Tambe. He's the CEO of Auriga Leasing. We also have T.R. Bajale. He's former DMD of SIDBI. He's also the ex-executive director and head of the SME business at IDBI Bank. Gentlemen, as always, thank you very much for being with us here tonight. Let's quickly start with our first query, and this is a call coming to us from Praveen Bangodia. Praveen, what's your query for our experts?
We are from Belgium-based software company, and my question is sometimes I get a big project and people want me not to take a project beyond your capacity. But I believe that as a startup, we need to take some sort of risk so that we can grow exponentially. And then increase your capacity. So what do you advise me? Can I go ahead with that kind of big projects?
So is it an either or in terms of risks as well as growth for MSMEs?
You see this, when we talk about startup, generally these category of entrepreneurs, they come first time with the idea to implement their ideas and then upscale their activities. Here these people, they are talking about at a large scale. Generally, when initially they think of that, they don't have that much funds. They have limited funds and either take the help of angel funds or crowdfunding or some source from banks. Generally, banks are reluctant to finance startups or any other source if they can find. So, their sources are limited. Then at this stage itself, if they have to go on a very large size, I feel that it is very, very risky. Perhaps they can take the initial step. Once they commercialize these on large scale, on reasonable scale, then they can upscale it to the large activities and then they can move further. I feel that they should start with a, if not very small, but at least a moderate level and then grow. That will be better for them.
So, they should calibrate in terms of what risk they are taking. Is it a calculated risk? Is it a risk which, is it a project or a risk which is going to throw them out of business if things go wrong? And I think that is very important for them to assess. They should look at 5 things: financing, do they have the right talent and people to execute? Do they have the right setup, infrastructure to execute? Do they have the right partners? In terms of vendors, in terms of staff, etc., or in terms of consultants to execute, and what is the risk management process that they have, that if things start going wrong, they can have a stop loss in terms of how much they want to, how much money they are losing. So, I think it needs to be a very calibrated approach. It needs to be a calibrated risk taking approach. There is, according to me, there is no answer in terms of one should not go for a big project or should go for a big project. It really depends if they can assess what strengths they have in terms of these 5 elements and how much risk are they able to bear so that they don't go out of business just because of this one project.
Let's take in the next query, and this is coming to us from Deepesh Ramya. He's sent us an email to say he's the director of an event management company. He says there's abundant supply and services in the market, but demand is quite low. And wants to know what our experts suggest in terms of seasonality of the business and how they can tide over the seasonality of business. Now, there are a lot of businesses seasonal in that nature, a lot of MSMEs,
Yes.
Including say, the airline business, you have the hospitality industry. Would there be a general rule of thumb that you would advise our viewers in terms of seasonality?
there is a huge demand for this. Perhaps maybe for some activities like weddings and this thing, it can be seasonal, but when we see overall in event management, there is a huge scope, and there are now some of the colleges which have come with a particular degree in these subjects. So, a huge potential is this in this business, and only think that if you are in Bombay, perhaps you can maybe in surrounding area you can take care, but when you expand at a all India level, perhaps you can find that sometime in one part of the country it is bit slow, but in other part of the country it is happening in a big way. So, that way you have to take a total holistic view, and I feel that huge demand is there, and this is a very big industry and growing at a very fast pace.
Sure.
Yeah, so making it broad based is the key. If they are focused only on one or two type of events, then I think that seasonality will come and hit them very badly. But they need to broad base, as sir said, in terms of capturing multiple events, multiple types of functions, etc. So, and upscaling their business. Today corporate events happens almost round the clock. So, they need to figure out how they can upscale their business. Also promote online, take it online in terms of promotion, so that people can book about or know about their services and kind of hire them. So, it is really about upscaling and making it really broad based. A typical example is a chartered accountant and the practice. Initially they started only with audits, now they do tax consulting. When audits are not there, they do M&A consulting, they do fundraising consulting. So, everybody in the service business needs to broad based, so that the seasonality is taken care of.
Alright, let's take in the next query. This is coming to us from Satish Sarapalli. He is calling in with his question. Satish, what question do you have for our experts?
Companies which have a turnover of less than 25 lakhs do not get a GST number, due to which they are unable to expand. How do you cope with this?
Is this true that companies with the turnover of less than 25 lakhs will not get a GST, and if yes, what advice do you have?
You see this, I think this amount from 25 lakhs has been further reduced to 20 lakh, and the companies which are with a turnover of 20 lakh, they need not get the number, GST number, or they are getting the tax exemption for that amount. But again, you see this, they are getting the tax incentive also, whatever tax as a value added tax, they are getting the incentive, and then they are not paying the tax. So, if they have to get the benefit of tax also, and in that case they can get the registration, there is no restriction on getting the registration, they can get. But once they have got the registration, then normal that GST they have to pay at 18%, they can take whatever benefit is there and they have to pay the tax. This can be done. There is no hindrance that they can't get the registration or they can't grow. There is no any such hindrance. They can get the registration and they can get the benefit.
But what is the plus side of registering for a GST number if you are not liable then in that sense?
The government is giving the incentive for small these companies that initially they need not pay the tax. So, up to 20 lakh rupees they will not get registered, they will not get that they need not pay the tax. But once you feel that you are growing large and if you do not pay the tax, do not get the registration, and the main purpose is that whatever value added tax is there, that benefit they are getting back. So, if they want that also benefit coming to them and they do not want to pay then for the tax, they have to get registration, they have to do, and then they have to make the payment for the GST. And they are getting, you see this central excise duty, then your value added tax, your interstate those taxes, all these taxes you have, it has to be clubbed and made as a GST, which is the people are saying around 18%, and if we take separately it works out to be more than 20%.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
So, they are going to get benefit, but lot of issues are there, and SME in fact it is a mixed bag for them. Lot of responsibilities are also there and lot of issues are there. Once I think it is introduced, only then the clear picture will come.
All right, that's a detailed response for you, Satish, in terms of how small business can perhaps register for a GST number early on to ensure that in the long term then you are compliant. Let's take a very quick break, but lots of your other queries on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and we're continuing to take in all of your queries. Do stay tuned. At the end of the show, I'll tell you how you can reach us. The next query is coming to us from Pradeep Pillai. Pradeep, what's your question for our experts?
As an IT company, I don't see, I would like to use more of bank facilities. But I do not see any way of using it because all IT companies do not have any physical assets for taking loan or something. So I would like to know as a small SME how to go about getting a loan from a bank, not from a private entity, for my company and for my working capital needs.
Lots of questions coming in from the IT software space, working capital loans, etc. Would you like to take that on?
Yes. So what happens is, in addition to the traditional banking system which is present today, there are a lot of alternative financing organizations which have come up, companies which have come up, similar to say Auriga Leasing that we have. There are many others who give working capital loans. There are marketplaces which have come up where you can apply to the loan. Your application is processed in 2 days or 3 days, and the best financer comes and finances you. So what they should do is they should explore this alternative financing ecosystem. They should kind of explore who are the new players on the block who are lending to new age businesses, lending to service oriented businesses, and I for the fact know that there are a lot of these who are online. So there are online lenders who have come into the play. There is P2P lending, which is a very big thing which is coming up in India now, peer to peer lending which is coming up. If you want assets, you can go to a company which specializes into asset leasing. You want working capital loans. So I think they should explore the ecosystem which is coming up in addition to the traditional financing ecosystem which is already available in the market.
Okay.
SMEs for loan up to 1 crore, these loans are covered under credit guarantee scheme, and where they don't need to provide any collateral security or any personal guarantee. In those cases, I think maybe up to 1 crore working capital can be covered under that. Otherwise, you see this for getting the equipment, banks are financing that up to 75% of the cost of the equipment. But other than that, generally these IT industry, they do not have any other collateral security or even primary security also. We find that just within a period of 3 years, it is fully depreciated, and totally book value after 3 years is almost negligible. So based on almost no security, giving them additional facility or additional loan, it becomes difficult for the banks. But now when the banks are financing the cash flows, if the cash flows are good and their order book is position is also very good, then up to 20% of their working capital, total working capital, banks can finance under a normal method. And only thing is that in the banking system, which is generally observed that they slightly take a longer time, and other alternate channel, as Mr. Tambe has said, these like NBFC sector, once they are convinced that this is a good unit and he is going to repay in time, then immediately they sanction that and disburse that. So it is sometimes becomes more convenient from NBFC sector as compared to the banks. But with the government coming heavily on the banking sector, that you have to now grow minimum 20% in the exposure terms, or 10% in the account side in SME. So these banks also, they have formulated various companies, and they are doing I think for IT there are separate products for that.
All right, let's take in our next query. This is coming to us from Jagdish Shah. He's written in to us to ask what the future of India is as far as emerging markets are concerned. And thanks for that query, Jagdish. Whether or not he has an exposure as far as exports go. The worst in terms of the financial global markets is over, or is it? In terms of, whether it's Brexit or commentary from the Fed, and what advice would you have in terms of how India is looking compared to its peers?
So I only have one thing to say in this is, I think one of the biggest strengths of India is domestic demand. So I don't know what business Jagdish is into, but if he is into a business which caters to Indians, then I think any business which strives on domestic demand is expected to grow over a period of time, because the domestic demand is expected to grow over a period of time. So how does it rank vis-a-vis the emerging markets? I think more than looking at this question holistically, I think what we should do is we should focus as to what business we are into, what service and product that we are offering, and is there enough domestic demand for us to grow while offering that. Because suppose that if you are at 5 crore turnover or a 10 crore turnover or a 2 crore, and if you believe that the domestic demand can take you to 100 crore or 200 crore or 1000 crore, then it really does not matter as to whether that business is successful in Brazil or that business is successful in China, because you have enough on the plate in this country, and I think you should focus on growing your business in this country based on how you see the domestic demand for your product and service. Just to be very specific, a lot of people are predicting good times ahead in terms of the economy, but at the end of the day, we need to also think little micro and think as to how my business would really grow and at what level we will reach.
Mr. Tambe, whatever he has said, I think I just supplement that. India, if we compare with the total world over, we see that our economy is growing at a faster speed as compared with the other countries. We are growing at around 7.6%. Then our demographic strength is again there. Then we see that with the new government, lot of initiatives have been taken. These smart cities, which is going to create a lot of demands for urbanizations. Then lot of spending from private sector and government sector in the defense activities. Then various like this railway, bullet train and other this railway that from Bombay to Ludhiana, the track is coming for goods. So these new type of activities, lot of new clusters of the industries have been set up. Skill India, Skilling India, Stand Up India, all these type of things are happening. Then we see that startup industry, which is growing at the fastest speed, and government has taken very good initiative in that. In fact, even a fund has been fund of funds have been separately set up for that.
All right, that's in response to your query. Let's quickly take in our next query. This is a call coming to us from Pramod Lucas. Go ahead, Pramod.
Government or the stock exchange have any plan for listing small companies? Like now there are conditions need to be relaxed to be list small companies and upcoming companies. Is there any plans for that?
Now, I do know that the NSE, for example, has a facility for MSMEs, and once the MSME gets slightly larger, they can move on to the the motherboard or the mother, where the larger companies list essentially. Yes. And we had NSE on our show previously. They've spoken about this. But anything that you want to promote through in terms of a listing for MSMEs?
Here, two options are available. One is the existing small companies. They can get themselves listed with NSE also or BSE also. Both they have set up a separate SME platform for SME units. Mainly this is done because if we compared with the other listed company, the lot of requirement for corporate governance, lot of requirement for compliance, lot of reporting issues are involved, but they have relaxed for SME. And SMEs on relaxed criteria, they can list without going for a IPO, without getting a new issue. or they can, along with IPO, they can again get listed with either NSE or BSE. Only issue is that their post issue capital should not go beyond 25 crore. It has to be less than 25 crore, and it gives opportunity to startups and other small units who have got the funds from various PEs or angel funds. It provides them opportunity to liquidate those funds and provide liquidity to that company.
So let me address it a little differently, since he talked about the procedural part of it. Every company should first think, why do they want to list? What is their end objective of this process? They are small today, they want to grow big. What is their plan? What is their vision? Because listing looks nice when you are not listed, but it comes with a baggage. It comes with a lot of responsibilities towards your shareholders, and a company should assess whether they are geared up to take these responsibilities, right? So I think a little bit of a strategic planning should be done by a company as to what they are looking for, just except for saying that, hey, I am listed, right? And I think that long term path needs to be chalked before anybody decides that they want to get listed, because it's not an easy journey. Like you, for example, in developed world, a lot of listed companies are now going private because they are unable to cope up with the regulations that SEC or any other regulatory body is actually enforcing on the listed companies. So I think this mapping up of the path is more important than the than just the checkbox tick that they would look at.
All right, as always, it's been a very engaging conversation in terms of taking up all of the queries which have come into us. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being here tonight. And we've brought in our team of experts to answer all of your queries. Do remember that if you're an MSME that has any queries for us, or if you want your company to be featured on the show, you can always get in touch with us. Do write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can personally tweet at me at Sunanda_J. You can reach us on social media on Twitter using the hashtag LOT, or call us on that number that you see flashing on your screen, and we promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. If you face any troubles when applying or feel the need to get in touch with us directly, email us, call us, tweet at me directly at Sunanda_J, or join our Facebook group.